Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Ganatamirangasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmalitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We've been reading from chapter 2 of the second part of Shri Brihat Bhagavatamrita. The chapter has been entitled Gyan, or knowledge. We've been hearing how the Bhakti Shastras have been debating with other aspects of the scriptures about the importance of liberation or the non-importance of liberation and the attainment of prema. So they say now to Gopakumar, if you have indeed realized the pettiness of liberation and want to attain the treasure of firm faith in pure devotional service to the Lord, then simply worship your transcendental mantra, and please hear this great secret which is pleasing to the heart. So again, emphasis is being put on the chanting of his Diksha mantra, and that if he has understood that the highest goal is developing your faith in devotion and acting with such faith, then you can move on even beyond this path of liberation or the idea of oneness with the Lord. Now hear this great secret, which is pleasing to the heart. Outside the egg of this universe, which extends for 500 million yojanas, are 8 covering shells, each 10 times thicker than the one before. So the subject matter of the chapters have taken us through the different realms up to Brahmaloka. Gopakumar had been the acting Brahma on Brahmalok, but now there's a description of that which exists beyond the coverings of this universe. We'll read the commentary. The 8 shells covering the universe consist of earth, water, fire, air, ether, ego, the Mahat, and the Pradhan. These layers form the stock of subtle causal ingredients from which all things in the material existence are produced. They go on to say, by crossing beyond those shells, in other words, going beyond the, sometimes it is described that the universe is like a coconut. And in the center is our earthly realm, but one has to go outside the shell of the universe in order to gain access to the spiritual world. So they say by crossing beyond those shells, going through the realms of earth and water, fire, air, and so forth, one reaches the abode called Mahakala, the imperishable abode where material existence disappears. It is called Mahakalapura because there all material causes and effects are non-existent. The material world is under the ruling or the laws of cause and effect, the karmic laws. But once you cross beyond this covering and enter into the spiritual world, or the boundary, at this point it's not exactly the spiritual world, but it's the boundary point, there is no more cause and effect. It is beyond the laws of the material universe. Lord Mahakala's personality cannot be described, but wise sages somehow describe him. He appears with form or without, in accord with the various mentalities of his worshippers. I'll read it again from the commentary. The real identity of Lord Mahakala is beyond the power of words to describe, but transcendental scholars somehow attempt to describe him. It is said he is neither cold nor hot, but is brilliant like gold. He is the perfectly satisfied self of perpetual bliss and awareness. Those who have no better evidence to depend on than theoretical knowledge perceive him as best they can, some seeing him with personal form and others as formless. In the Srihari Vamsa, Arjuna tells how, according to his ability, he saw Lord Mahakala. There I saw, in the ether, a brilliant light. It pervaded the entire cosmos, yet was situated in one place in a personal form. The Supreme Lord is always a person, but those attached to dry knowledge think of him as formless and impersonal. Be that as it may, the devotees of the Lord can always discern his personal form, looking beyond the light or the effulgence of his body. The Lord's servants, whose desires take them to Mahakalapura, see him there in their hearts as the concentrated form of the absolute truth. Commentary. Liberated Vaishnavas are free in all their movements. If they travel to Mahakalapura, it is only because they want to see the Lord there as Brahman in person. In other words, the personal form of Brahman, and everything else that is existing is the energy of that personality of Brahman. And so, by the potency of your transcendental mantra, there you will directly achieve the complete fulfillment of your long-cherished desires. Though Gopakumar had long hankered to see the Lord he had been worshipping by his mantra, he doubts his own qualification to achieve this, because he knows that to see the Lord in person, one must be his fully surrendered servant. But the Bhakti Shastras remind him that his 10-syllable mantra to Srimadan Gopal is all-powerful and can bring him into the direct darshan of the Lord. They go on to say, if you do not wish to spend much time there, then just go to Braj Bhumi in Sri Mathura. Some residents of Lord Brahma's planet are completely free from material desires, some are not. At the end of Brahma's life, those who still have material desires return to the lower planets, and those who are desireless attain liberation, along with Brahma. Brahma's life, however, lasts for the very lifetime of the universe, and Gopakumar may not want to wait that long to graduate from the material world. The supreme material powers and enjoyment available on Brahmalok delay the attainment of the Supreme Lord's kingdom. But if Gopakumar descends from Brahmalok to the places on earth where Sri Krishna sports, that is Sri Vrindaban, Govardhan, and so on, then all his desires will be quickly fulfilled. In other words, you don't have to wait to the end of this universe. If you do want to see the spiritual world, you can go to the earthly realm and get the darshan of Vrindaban and Govardhan and those places where the Lord himself personally appeared. Shri Gopakumar said, O Mathura Brahmana. Remember that Gopakumar is instructing his disciple, who is referred to as a Mathura Brahmana. Gopakumar says, O Mathura Brahmana, these words of the scriptures greatly strengthen my devotion for the Supreme Lord, and this thought was born in my heart. So the Mathura Brahmana had taken shelter of Gopakumar, and Gopakumar said, instead of quoting from this place and that place, let me tell you my own experience. Experience is sometimes considered the best evidence anyway, that what you have experienced is greater than what can be just read from books and described in accordance with quotes and this and that. So Gopakumar is telling his own story. So he says, this is what I felt after hearing those instructions. Here I have gained in person as my own Father, the Lord, whose devotional service is so great. Why indeed should I abandon him to go elsewhere? So Gopakumar was in the position of Brahma at this point. And as Brahma, he was like the son of the Lord, and he was kind of nurtured as a son by Mother Lakshmi and others. When my mind was thus perturbed, that Supreme Lord himself, the reservoir of mercy, who knows what takes place in everyone's heart, visited me and spoke. So Gopakumar had some doubts. Here I am situated, the Lord is present, I'm treated with loving regard like the Lord's son. Therefore, why should I move on? But at the same time, he had this inclination to see the Lord of his own mantra, that is, being a Gopa, a Kumar, a young cowherd boy. Gopa Kumar means a young cowherd boy. He naturally had the desire to see Madan Gopal, Krishna of Vrindaban. But still he was perturbed, and so the Lord appeared before him. And the Blessed Lord said, go to Mathura, to your dearest pasturing grounds, to the land adorned with many places of my varied supreme pastimes. Though a long time has passed since Lord Brahma himself prayed for birth as a blade of grass in Braj, that land now appears the same as then. That is, you will see the eternal nature of that Vrindaban, that place that a previous Brahma prayed to become a blade of grass. You can go there and see that spirit with spiritual eyes now, that Vrindaban, not with material eyes where you only see the mundane form of Vrindaban, but you will actually see Vrindaban. So there you will again meet your Guru. My advice, the Lord says, is you go back to Vrindaban with now your spiritualized eyes. See that place where Brahma so much desired to take birth as a blade of grass. And there you will meet your Guru, who is most dear to me. By his mercy, you will be empowered to understand everything in full. So the Lord says, my advice is you go there to Vrindaban and meet your Guru. You will see him there. And he will reveal more to you at this time. The commentary says, Gopakumar may object that in Braj Bhumi, there will be no one to advise him. Whereas here on Brahmalok, the Lord, as Mahapurusha, is at his side to mercifully inform him of everything that he should do. But the Lord assures him that in Braj he will meet again the great Vaishnava who initiated him into the chanting of his mantra. Because that Guru is very dear devotee of the Lord, Prashtaya means who is dear. So we say in our Guru mantra that you who are dear to Krishna, Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale. Although you're residing within this world, you are known as one who is dear to Krishna. Because that Guru is very dear to me, Krishna says, or the Lord says here in his Mahapurusha form, you can go there and hear from him. Gopakumar can then expect to learn from his Guru even more about devotional service than from the Lord himself. Thus, the Lord, Mahapurusha, emphatically uses the word sarvam, everything, nittaram, completely, and swayam, by your power, that by your devotion, you will, and by the mercy of your Guru, you will understand everything completely. Indeed, the verses go on and say, you will soon see me, indeed you will soon come see me in person in the Mahakalapura. There you will attain extreme bliss that will enchant your heart. So the Lord said, you can continue to see the entire cosmos from the material world as he had already done. Throughout the spiritual world, he's going to venture even higher and higher to actually get the full darshan of the entire universe, both material and spiritual. But first, gain more wisdom by going and visiting your Guru, and there he will open your eyes so that you will be able to perceive me again in that Mahakalapura. By the power of my mercy, you will wander about freely and enter into hundreds of amazing wonders. Your life is not over yet. In other words, you're still growing spiritually, and with each growth spurt, you'll see more amazing wonders. So you will enter into hundreds of amazing wonders. And after some time, dear son, all your ambitions will be satisfied, and you will play with me as you like in Vrindaban. And ultimately, your perfection will be had. And as you're a cowherd boy, what is their ras with Krishna? They play. They venture out and play. Basically, that's Krishna and the cowherd boys. Everyone is waiting for the morning time to come. Evening time is the gopis' time. Daytime is the cowherd boys' time. Although they arrange sometimes for Krishna to meet with Radha during the daytime also. But here the Lord himself says, ultimately you should know your perfection is there, and you will gain the opportunity of fulfilling your heart's desire to play in the realm of Vrindaban along with me and hundreds of thousands of friends and so forth. So Shri Gopakumar said, thus overcome with both joy and sorrow at the Lord's command, that is, at the same time he had to leave, by the power of my mind, at once I came to this beautiful Vrindaban. Commentary. Gopakumar uses the phrase Etad Vrindavanam, this Vrindavan, because Shri Vrindavan is where he is speaking to his student, the Mathura Brahmana. He said, here, I came back here. Gopakumar reached the most beautiful place quickly, traveling at the speed of mind. He felt joyful that eventually he would play with his Lord in Vrindaban, but also unhappy for some time he would have to keep tolerating the pain of separation from him. Thus ends the second chapter of part 2 of Srila Sanatan Goswami's Brihat Bhagavatamrita, entitled Gyan, or Knowledge. So, the first chapter was called Renunciation, Vairagya. As he grew, he became detached from material existence. Then he became filled with understanding of the actual goal of his life. Now, chapter 3 is called Bhajan. He enters into the true stage of worship of the Lord. Shri Gopakumar said, when I came from Brahmalok to this earth, I saw that nowhere was there even a hint of the way things had been before. In other words, some things change, material energy is there and like that, but I looked upon the Sri Mathura district, and that had stayed the same, graced with the same forest and mountains and rivers, filled with the same kind of creatures. So he saw that the material world had changed, but then focusing on Vrindavan, he saw that that was non-different than he had originally witnessed it. With his eyes now spiritualized, he could see that it was graced with the same forest, and mountains and rivers, living beings, all that exists there eternally. Remembering the Supreme Lord's order, I wandered throughout Vrindaban. When I entered this very same grove, I then saw my spiritual master. He was unconscious in a trance of ecstatic love. Commentary. Gopakumar remembered that the personality of Godhead had told him, "Go to Vrindaban. There you will find your beloved spiritual master." So we'll stop at this point, and next time we pick up our reading, hear what takes place, the exchange between Gopakumar and his Gurudev, and where that knowledge takes him. Jai Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol Shri Radhe Shyam.